ESPN Richmond 106.1 is part of the Mike King Biz Radio Network. On the mic with Mike, we're here daily 5 to 7 a.m. On 106.1, as well as the Choice 105.3. That's 2 to 3 every day, and International Business Talk Radio. You can follow me and find me on social platforms, hashtag On the Mic with Mike RVA, as well as Mike King Biz Radio and On the Mic with Mike RVA. I'm here with Bryce Moore. That's like Bryce Moore, not Bryce Less. So he's over the top. He is an entrepreneur, business person, ball player, and media personality. Bryce, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All righty. So we Bitten Pro. Let's talk a little bit about what you're doing with that, what that is, and let people know that's a movement that's taken hold as far as you playing sports and all of a sudden understanding the meaning of practice. So let's talk a little bit about Bitten Pro.
Okay, so Bitten Pro is something that me and my brother came up with when the pandemic first started. And the whole reason we really came up with Bitten Pro was because of the reason that we weren't really represented enough as African-American ball players in any sport that is. We just feel like we weren't represented enough. So the reason we started Bitten Pro is because we wanted to put ourselves out there, or just start something that me and him could do for during the pandemic. So that's where Bitten Pro came from, and it's just been going from there ever since.
All right, and you are rocking something when you talk about African-American ball players. You're rocking something right now. Tell me what you're wearing.
I'm wearing one of the first things we ever made. It's a 42 shirt. It's Jackie Robinson's number, one of my favorite ball players that ever exists. He's the reason the whole game changed for baseball.
The game did change with and that's why they always say thank you, Mr. Robinson. So let's talk about practice. You know, I'm from Philly, and we always laugh about Iverson's rant talking about practice. Practice means something to you because it's tied into your business. Let's talk about practice.
So practice is something that separates pretty much the men from the boys if you know how to practice the right way. Practice is something where if you don't put in as much work as your competitor, you're going to get outbeat every time. So I believe the name pretty much ties in with practice because it's called practice required often, which is that pro part. And if you don't practice, you'll get beat every time. So you have to go hard in practice. The practice shows in the game. So that's what that practice means for me.
Alrighty, so it's not just you rolling by yourself with Bitten Pro. We got to show your brother some love because, you know, if not, he's going to get mad and then he's going to be like, how come you didn't shout me out on the radio? All right, so show your brother some love as far as being part of the team.
Yeah, I want to thank my brother Blake. Yeah, he's helped me out a long way as it comes to sports. I mean, we argue, we have our differences, of course, because we're brothers. But at the same time, at the end of the day, I love the kid, and I can ask for a better brother even if I wanted to.
That's the correct answer, man. That's very good. You're gonna be a politician one day talking like that, because that was the well-scripted answer. You know, so when you turn pro, you'll be able to talk just like that with that sound bite. All right, so you're a baseball player. Favorite baseball team?
I would say right now it would have to be the Dodgers, if I want to be honest.
Okay, the Dodgers' favorite team now. Favorite player? No, let's go back. Why the Dodgers?
I would say it's not because the amount of World Series they've won, I just say they have a great group of guys. They mold well together, especially Mookie Betts. I mean, he's just one of the players that really got me into baseball. He made me change my number from 21 to 50. So, I mean, he's just one of those guys. And then you have a great lineup of guys, especially the new guys, Trey Turner and Matt Scherzer. And it's just that new group of guys just make the team come together even more.
Alrighty, favorite player?
From this year, I would have to say Shohei, but from previous years, it would either be Derek Jeter or King Griffey Jr.
What is it about Ohtani that's so different for people who don't follow baseball and really realize how big a deal this is?
The reason Shohei is my favorite player is because he just showed up out of nowhere. I mean, you have a 6'5" Asian American. Well, he's not Asian American, but he's Asian that came out of nowhere and changed the game of baseball completely. I mean, it's just the way his presence at the plate, even when he pitched, even when he was in the field, his presence it's just insane overall.
Because one of the things people generations past were pitchers didn't hit, hitters, they just didn't go. They went up and took a couple hacks. And every so often you had a pitcher who was an athlete who really could hit. But Ohtani, he's changed the game. So now you're dealing with younger players. Do you see people at your level and going up who want to be that dual type of threat? I always know they always talk about, like the 5-tool players. But now this is something different. You get a pitcher who can throw heat and hit home runs.
I could see from this standpoint that a lot of kids want to be like Shohei.
Oh, really?
I mean, yes, because if you're a pitcher, you're throwing gas. If you're a batter, you're hitting them bombs. I mean, what kid doesn't want to be like that?
That is
I
true.
mean, kids don't, I mean, a lot of kids, I wouldn't say want to pitch necessarily, but if they see Shohei, they'd probably change their mind. And that goes for any pitcher, honestly. But especially Shohei, because he's out here pitching just straight gas and hitting straight bombs. So, I mean, what kid wouldn't want to be like him?
It's nothing like striking up, knocking people out the park and then throwing heat and striking folks out. That's the best combination right there. Back in the day, they used to they had a media campaign said chicks dig the long ball. And when they started cracking it out the park, all of a sudden, everybody started like, on the mic with Mike. Mike King talking sports with Blake Moore. What am I doing? I never talk sports, but he's an entrepreneur. He's in the sports world. He is an athlete. So how can people get information about Bidden Pro?
We have an Instagram page. It's Bidden Pro, just as it is Bidden Pro. And then if you want to check out my socials, it's Bryce Moore. And then I think my brother's Instagram is just Blake Moore at that point. So we have socials. And then if you want to check out the Bidden Pro website, it's biddenpro.org. So good day if you want to check us out.
Radio personally, Bryce Moore is here with us. He's out there talking sports. All right, let's talk some other sports. So word dropped yesterday that Brady had retired. I know you guys have that series called The GOAT as well.
Yes, we do.
Is Brady retired? I just want to know from your standpoint.
I think he is. I mean, it would make it from everything that he's done. I mean, it would make sense for him to retire. He has a ton of Super Bowl wins. I don't even know how many, but he is just the GOAT overall. I mean, man played for, how many seasons did he play for? Like 24.
What's he in? So he's 44, he'll be 45 years old, and he's won 7 Super Bowls. At what point it's like, so you're saying good enough to walk away before they send you on your way?
Yes, good enough.
Yes, definitely.
You have to retire. Good enough. I mean, of course, he's the GOAT now, but mind you, you have all these young athletes like Mahomes and everyone else coming up behind them. So, I mean, might as well take a step back and let the game of football just grow as it already is.
All right, let me ask you another sport. People talked about soccer taking over American sports landscape. You're out there playing sports. Where does soccer land as far as athletic people go? Do you see it taking over, or it's always kind of sort of be on the fringes of popularity?
I mean, as far as soccer go, I have friends that play soccer, and I have friends that play soccer at a high level. I mean, I could see it growing due to the high popularity of Messi and Ronaldo. I mean, of course, it's going to keep growing as a sport of its own. And I mean, it does take a lot of athletic skill to probably play soccer because you have to worry about ball handling skills, coordination on its own. I mean, it takes skill to play soccer. Actually, your legs have to be strong. You have to be over just a well-rounded player with speed and agility. So, I mean, it's going to grow.
All right, let's talk basketball. Favorite basketball player who's out there right now?
I would say, I play basketball, but I don't watch it as much. But if I were to say, probably Mr. 3000, Mr. Steph Curry. So I would probably say him because just the way he's just overall well-rounded player. I mean, he's able to take the ball in there if he has to, but just his range when it comes to shooting is just insane.
Mike King, Bryce Moore here with us, talking sports, life, business, everything in between. When you look at an athlete out there, Name someone who you think is good with the media, and why do you think they're good?
If I would have to say someone's good with the media, mm, probably Juju Smith-Schuster. I mean, either he's a good player and he's very active on social media. So if I were to say, I mean, he's very good at football. He's very athletic, and when it comes to just running the ball or just catching it overall, I mean, he's just a good player, and he's very active on social media.
His social media game is good. So when you look at it, you like the way he does the whole social media aspect.
I mean, he's very active. He's very up with the times, and that just gets kids pulled into what he's doing on social media and in the game of football.
So for you, back in the day, you had to get discovered. So Mike King, Bryce Moore is here with us. He's talking sports. I'm talking business or whatever I'm talking about. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm talking to him. How important is Instagram, social media to people who are coming up like you? Do people before people had a reputation? Do guys have a rep now, and social media plays into it as well?
Yes, I mean, social media has a huge impact on what people are doing these days. You could post a good thing, you could have like 50 good things and one really bad thing, and that one bad thing outweighs the good things on that page tremendously. So social media takes a huge part in what everyone's doing. People do try to expose themselves by putting their clips of highlights, practice, games, all that stuff on their social media page, but you have to be careful on what you do on that page.
So people know who Bryce Moore is before he shows up. A lot of times because of your social media presence, or anybody, you know who people are with their. And how often do you keep up with folks with their social media?
I'm not on it as much as I was, but I'll post a picture here and there. But when I start getting more clips of me playing baseball, I'll try to post some of them up there.
All right, on the mic with Mike Bryce Moore. Ladies and gentlemen, he'll be back with us throughout the season, throughout the time he's going to come back on, talk sports. All right, Super Bowl's coming up. Are you excited?
Yes, very excited.
All right, let me ask you, so you're a baseball player. What is bigger for you, the Olympics, the Summer Olympics or Winter Olympics, the Super Bowl, or the World Series?
As it just pertains to sports overall, I would say the
Yeah.
Summer Olympics, because just the amount of sports that are able to be played in the summer, like track, field, stuff like that. I mean, it's just crazy to see how those athletes come from all around the world just to be able to play their favorite sport that they love. And then when it came to football and baseball, I would say the World Series is probably my favorite thing to watch, because just a multi-game series, and it's just crazy how to see you have teams battling back from one loss today, and then out of nowhere it's a blowout next game. So it's just crazy to see that.
One of the things I always say, and coming from a generation before, baseball has always been the favorite sport of mine. You know, baseball players always been really cool. The better team wins most of the time in baseball because you got 7 games to do it. Anything could happen in the Super Bowl. It's one game, one day, a fluke interception, and next thing you know, my team's losing like the Eagles have done in the past. So, Mike King, Bryce Moore is with us. So, Bryce, one last time, how can people find you out there?
Well, you can check us out for the Bidding Pro standpoint at Bidding Pro on Instagram, and then biddingpro.org for the website. And then if you want to check me and my brother out, it's just Bryce Moore on Instagram, and then Blake Moore.
All right, man, stand up and rock the shirt one more time. That way, so we can see the whole thing. And I see you too tall. There you go. Looking like a model there. Jackie Robinson with is the 42 Bidding Pro. All right, man, I'd like to thank you for coming on the program. You're going to be back
Thank you.
All right, tell your brother next time we're going to show him some love. He'll come on, because I don't want him being mad.
We will.
I want peace in your business as well. So, we don't want any foolishness. On the mic with Mike Bryce Moore. We are on ESPN Richmond. He is a personality. He is an entrepreneur. He is a baseball player, an athlete, star student as well. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, man. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
You the same.